Hello everyone, welcome back. My name is Nate, and this is NK Gaming Adventures. And we got something new for you guys today. Fishing North Atlantic. Yeah, yep, a good old fishing game. Hopefully you guys like fishing. So, I've been playing this game for a little while, and I've done a good amount of lobster fishing. That's all the fishing I've done so far is lobster fishing. And I've been having a good time. This game has been out for some years now. I would have to say about 4 or 5 years now. And so many of you guys have probably seen this game or played it. I picked it up recently on the PlayStation Store. Yes, we are on the PS5. It is on sale there, and it is also for sale, or, you know, of course it's for sale, but it's on sale on Steam also, which is one of the biggest platforms to buy PC games on, if you didn't know. So I've been hard at work, and I'm really, like I said, I'm really enjoying this game. I've been out here, there's this little cove here, if I pull up the map for you guys. I'm back here in the northeast part of the map, and I'm in this area here where all these little islands are. You gotta be careful, because you can get yourself in some problems back over here if you run into land or whatnot, because, you know, you can damage your boat, or you can completely total your boat, and, well, you gotta call for rescue, and, you know, that's costs a lot of money. I know about that because I've had that happen to me in this game. So, we've been out here in between these islands for about a day and a half now. We already set out a string and hauled it in, and now we're going to get ready to, we just ran these 12 pots. I do have 12 pots in soaking right now. And that's all that this little boat can hold is 12 crab pot, or not crab pots, excuse me, lobster pots. And I had them set out. They're obviously they're red right now. Around the numbers, you'll see it's red. Well, when it's ready and it's soaked long enough, because you want to let these soak between about, I think, 18 to 24 hours or 19 to 24 hours is the sweet spot for them. When they're ready, they'll turn blue around the number. So it looks like a buoy right there. That will turn blue. If they're not quite ready, they'll be green. So blue is when you want to pull them. Green is, I believe, they set a little too long, and you may lose some fish out of your, whether, like in this case, we're doing lobster, we could lose some lobster out of our lobster trap. If you're netting, if you have lines out, whatever, you know, your fish that you catch could go down. So we have to set the pots. I already ran back to the start of the string, and we're going to set the clock for 18 hours or so at first, see how our pots look, and if they need to soak a little longer, then we'll go another hour. So let's go back out of the map, and I'll show you guys the map while we're in here. So this map is, we're right here on the corner edge of the map. But you can go, this is all the top, all the way over to the left here, all the way down, all the way back over, and everything in between. Now this is land here, obviously, and you can't go on land, because this is a fishing game. You stay in the boats, you go to port. There are different ports around, and we will be visiting different ports Now I have some places marked on the map right here. I was tracking some lobster here. Tracked them all the way down through into here as they're coming their path. They're probably down about right around here now where this boat is sitting right here, where my white cursor is. They're probably somewhere in that area now, possibly. But they'll move, you know, these schools of fish will move around the map. But let's go back up here. And these, you know, been tracking these guys from all the way down here, right? These guys started way down here and they worked their way all the way up through here. And now they're into here. And this was all the way from a tip from a month ago. They were down here in the ocean. They worked all their self way up here into here now, and they're right here in this little cove bay area back over here where all these islands are. So let's get back out, and you see there's a buoy up there to the left of our boat, front of our boat. So we're gonna go back in here. We're gonna go to the clock, and I want to let them soak, and we're gonna drop anchor for 18 hours and see what our pots look like. So let's go 18 hours. Yes, it is dark now. Let's go back in. Okay, so here's the deal. Our first pot that we set out in our string, pot number 1, is blue. You see how it's blue? It's ready to pull. All these other ones, all the other 11, are green. They're not quite ready to pull yet. I'm sorry, yeah, I said before that if it went green, they sat maybe a little too long and you'd lose some catch. That's wrong. They go green and then blue. Blue is when you want to pull them. Green is the stage right before they turn blue. You don't want to pull them at blue or at green because they need to soak a little longer, because you might be able to catch more if you just wait till they turn blue. So this has been 18 hours, 43 minutes. This one's been 18 hours, 38 minutes. So all these other ones are about to turn blue any other time. So what I'm going to do is set the clock for another hour again, and I guarantee all of these now are going to be blue when we come back. Now, I could start pulling the first one, and by the time I pull the first one, there's a good chance that 2 and 3 and 4 and maybe some of the rest of them would be turned blue. But we'll just set another hour. And let's go back in and we'll see. Yep, I was right. They're now all blue now, so they are ready to pull. They're ready to pull. So pot number 1 has been sitting for 19 hours and 43 minutes. We're right into that sweet spot. You want that 18 to 24, 19 to 24 area. So we're right there. We are right there. And you see this one, number 1, has been sitting longer than number 12 at 19 hours and 10 minutes. This one's 19 hours and 43 minutes. So you can see it took me, 33 minutes to put out all 12. That's in-game time. That's not real time, right? I can put them all out in real game time probably in about 5 minutes or so. And they'll be out 5-10 minutes max, and all 12 of them will be out. Set it to autopilot and go, but I'll show you guys that later. The autopilot and everything else. You'll see things as we go. But we got to get these hauled in. And yes, you see it is extremely dark out here. Extremely dark. Like you can't see anything. You can see the stars and everything in the sky. And it is, what time is it? It's 5 o'clock in the morning, 5:02 a.m. And it's it's dark out here. It's very hard to see, but we have upgraded buoys and things like that make it easier to see. Now when you get out here and you start on your own, you won't have some of this upgraded equipment that I have, and it's going to be almost impossible to see these buoys out here. So let's head to that first buoy, or the one that I think is the first buoy. And remember, we got to be careful because we're in between islands right now, and we don't want to run into land because we'll total our boat. And we do have catch already on board. We have almost 4,000 pounds of lobster on board. That was from our first haul. which isn't really the greatest haul, because I would like to see. I would like to see between 4,000 and 6,000 pounds a haul. So yeah, it's close, but you got to get it there, okay. And then it automatically puts you back here by the crane or the lift, the lobster lift, whatever you want to call it. I'm not sure the proper name for it. You bring it up, you grab the pot, put the pot down on this stand here, and you notice in the bottom left corner you'll get prompts to be able to do things. Then you go over here to the blue crate, take the blue crate, set it here, open it up, come to your pot, take out a lobster. That one's too small, so we have to throw it back. And you see how I went out, put my white cursor towards the water or out over the boat, and it said, a prompt came up in the bottom that said return lobster to ocean. You hold X down and you release it, and it throws it back in. This one's a keeper. This is a pretty big boy. So you tie up the claws, put it in your bucket. This one's also good. This one's close. We're going to keep it. It's almost on the small side. Okay, we didn't get much out of that one, and that's what I was almost expecting, because this is a Habitat 2 size, and right now, not all Habitat 2s are a small or medium or large. I mean, this Habitat is a Habitat 2, and right now the Habitat 2 for lobster, this one is a medium size. So I'm not getting the greatest results out of this, but I figured we were over here. We made the trip all the way up here. It takes fuel and it takes time. It takes money, you know, to come up here. So I'm like, you know, let's make the most of it while we're up here. We're going to throw another string out and another 12 pots, and we'll hit them again. So I'll have fished twice from this habitat up here. And you do have fish seasons. So some seasons fish are in while others are not. Lobster, I believe, is in from November 1st to May 31st. If I remember correctly. That's a keeper. And right now, if you see, we go in here, it is April 27th, okay? And lobster season ends, see, we only got one out of there. That was not good. But it is what it is. I knew that's what it was probably going to be. But I chose to put out more pots just because we were up here. Now, we're towards the end of lobster season. Like I said, May 31st, the end of lobster season. And we're at the end of April, April 27th. There's only a little over a month left of the lobster season. As you get towards the end of fish seasons, it gets harder and harder to find these types of fish you're fishing for, and they become more scarce. Because you fished for them for the whole season, other fishers out here have been fishing for them also, so towards the end of the fish seasons, it can get hard finding these guys. That's what I've learned playing myself and watching other videos, because I've watched quite a few videos on fishing North Atlantic. Okay, so that guy's too small. That guy's too small. And if you take out this measurement, it'll tell you, if you go in the wiki and get this game, it'll tell you everything you need to know. You get the measurement out there, and it's from the eyes. You want the top of that measurement inside, in the ball of the eye, to the start of the top of the tail, if you guys understand. So you want it to be in between there. Now you can go a little bit each way, and if you notice, I've done that already. Like this one, it's in the ball of the eye and it's past the top of the tail, right? The inside of the measurement there. That one is still, you'll be okay with that to keep, most likely. The game will tell you not to keep that, but if you would only keep everything the game tells you to, you would you wouldn't, it would be harder to make money. It would be a lot harder. And if it's allowing you to sell at market and get the price, and it's not finding you for undersized fish, because this game will find you for undersized fish. If it's not finding you, then obviously, you know, in my opinion, that's not cheating, even though the game tells you, hey, don't, you know, you want to measure them, and if it's between this, take that. But if the market's not penalizing you for it, then obviously it's of size, and you're good to go. So, I've showed you some things here. I think I'm going to haul the rest of these pots in. That one's a little small. See, that one, I don't know. I'm going to throw back just because sometimes it's a judgment call. You know what I mean? If they just look a little smaller, things don't look right, like that one, throw away, because put back in the sea, because it's not inside the eyeball, right? It's outside the eyeball, and it extends well past the top of the tail, so that one you'll want to throw back. Hopefully you guys understand what I'm saying, but I'm going to collect the rest of these guys, and I'll bring you guys back in after I haul the rest of these pots in, and we're going to have to head to market. Alright, guys? Well, we got those string of pots up. We didn't do that well. But that was a little expected. We did almost half as good as our last string. But we do have all the pots, all 12 pots stacked back up on the boat. And we need to go in and check to see what port is paying the highest price for lobster at this time, so we know what port to head to. So let's do that. Let's go over to finances and go down to fish prices. So Yarmouth is paying, if you look at the very center right of your screen, bottom center right, lobster, $9.80 a pound. That's in Yarmouth. Lindenberg, $10.09 a pound. Lockport, $9.92 a pound. Ingleshead, $9.12 a pound. Digby, $9.95 a pound. And Dennis Point, $10.57 a pound. And then it starts all over again. So those are our ports in the game. So I believe Dennis Point was the highest at $10.57 a pound. That's where I have been selling all my lobster at, for the most part. Because right now, for the last month in game, just about, lobster has been selling the highest at Dennis Point. So let's head back to our map. And I have to go all the way from here. We're up here. I have to go all the way around here to the right, because we're on the edge of the edge of the map here. Go all the way down, around, down here, all the way past Lockport. That's another port. All the way down here, back around here to Dennis Point. I mean, that is from here all the way down here, all the way around Nova Scotia, because this is Nova Scotia, all the way into Dennis Point. So we got to go halfway across the map to Dennis Point. It's going to take a very long time. I'll meet you guys there. We've landed at Dennis Point. Let's throw out our ropes and anchor. We got fish on board. Would you like to sell your catch at Dennis Point? We certainly would. That's why we came here. Look at that. 100% fresh, so all our lobsters were fresh. We had 943 lobsters on board, a total weight of 6,937.5 pounds. We do have a little bit of port reputation because we've sold here a few other times, so we do have a 0.7% price increase, which adds another $489.05 under the total payout, because we are gaining a reputation in Dennis Point of being rock star fishermen. All right. So, like I said, lobster pays $10.57 a pound. That comes out to $73,809.17. So that's what we made for that fishing trip out there. Was about 2 days. We were out at sea for 2 days, and we made almost $74,000 in 2 days. Now, like I said, that's not a good trip compared to what I've been having. I've been coming into port and having almost the whole boat filled with lobster to where I almost couldn't hold anymore. The one time I had the boat completely filled, and I'm getting about double it, or well, not double this. I'm getting about $100,000 more than what I'm seeing here. So I'm seeing about 170, 180, $185,000 when I have 16 to 17,000 pounds or a little more on board of lobster. So that's what I'm paying, and the price right now for lobster is way down, because you can see I think prices as high as around $20 or more, double the price now or more than what it is during peak season. Right now we're at the end of the season for lobster, prices are low, so that's why we're not getting paid as much. So if lobster was in prime season and we were coming in with a filled boat, even with this starter boat here, we'd be swimming in cash. But that's not how it is right now. Hopefully at some point it will be, because I'm going to continue fishing some lobster right now, but we're going to try all kind of other different, forms of fishing. There's many forms of fishing in this game, and you'll just have to stay tuned to see all those. I'm looking forward to it. Hopefully you are too. But let's sell the catch, because we want to get our $73,000. So the catch is sold, and we got our money. So now we're up to $598,000, almost $600,000. I've had to put in a lot of work for that. If we go back out here, I think if I go here to, I'm not sure, maybe weather? No, I gotta go. I'm still learning all the buttons and the controls and everything, guys, so bear with me. So equipment, no. Yeah, we're getting low on bait too. Lobster bait block, we only have 2, so we gotta get some bait while we're in port too, or we're gonna run out. Let's see. Okay, yeah, quotas is what I was looking for. If we go to quotas, look in the bottom left screen. This is the quota I have for this starting boat. It's called the No Yankee originally, but I renamed it to NK's Dream, as you see on the back of the boat here. But our quota for No Yankee is 220,462.4 pounds, right? Total, and you can see I've been working here at it so far. I've hauled in 64,776.1 pounds already of lobster in this game since I first started playing this game. So I just wanted to show you guys that. Each boat, I believe, has different quota sizes, and you can upgrade the quota sizes by paying more for each boat. But like I said, there's a lot of money being spent and thrown around here for upgrades and everything. So it's this game, things cost a lot of money in this game. So let's dock back up at Dennis Point. Let's go in the town and go to the bar and see if there's any tips on where lobster have been sighted. Because right now For the time being, we are fishing lobster. This is the one and only boat we have, and this is the only fish type that we can fish with this boat is lobster. It can't be rigged for any type of fishing. But we are working up to getting a different boat. I'm not going to tell you which one that is yet. I want to make it a surprise, but the first boat is dang near $1 million. Now, I know I can get one a lot cheaper, but it's the one I want for our next boat. So we're going to upgrade a little bit for our first one. Well, let's go into the bar and see if there's any tips. No. So there's one for redfish, but redfish for us right now is pointless because we can't even fish for that. So we're not even going to worry about it, even though it's free. There are missions in the game if you didn't know, and I'm just going over some of this stuff because, like I said, this game is on sale on the PS Store and also Steam. So there might be some new players to the game that came by this video and said, hey, let me watch it. Maybe I can pick up a thing or two and learn something. So I'm trying to go over some things. There are missions here, and you can do like the port deliveries. This one will pay $50,000 to do a port delivery, but the catch is you can't use fast travel, as it says. Note, fast travel will be disabled when accepting this mission. So you can't fast travel. There is fast travel in this game. I use it all the time. I've noticed most players do. Because if not, you'll be out there forever. You'll be spending more time gliding across the ocean than you are fishing. So, you know, to each their own, you know, do whatever you want, but at least for port deliveries, you can't fast travel, and I understand why. You know, because it eliminates the thing for, you know, cheating, basically. So let's go back to, and oh, you can go to the bank and you can borrow money. I don't have a loan out and haven't taken a loan, and I don't plan to, but I may. I'm not opposed to it, but I'm going to try not to. That's why I'm trying to grind and put in all this work to save up our money and get the boat we want. Now, that boat we want is not going to get us to do all kind of every fishing type there is in the game. It's only going to allow us to do 3 or 4, I think, different fish types, I believe. And one of them is lobster, so we can continue to do lobster on that boat too, but we're going to fish for lobster in a little bit of a different way than what we do on here. Because that boat allows us to do it that way, you know, differently than what it does on here. So let's go to dock since we're in here. Let's go to maintenance and let's fuel our boat because we're down to maybe, I don't know, maybe somewhere around a half a tank. I'm not sure. I didn't look, but yeah, right here. For 247.7 gallons, it's $4.73 a gallon. You know, it's almost $1,200 to put in 247 gallons, and I'm not even half empty. So you can see that's even expensive. So we're now full. The tank is full. We can go in here and repair if you want to. You're going to get damage naturally over time. Your boat's going to need maintenance over time, even if you don't cause any damage yourself to it. It's just, you know, everything like in real life requires maintenance, right? So right now we have 2% damage just because of just wear and tear on the boat. $59.32, 2%. I'm not going to worry about that right now, you know, just because I'm just not going to. You can go in here and change the name of your boat. Change the color of the boat right here. Okay, so you can customize it how you want. I'm just doing a standard white boat with blue lettering, NK's Dream. I just thought NK's Dream was kind of a good name for a boat. You can go here to upgrades. Each boat you can do upgrades on. Right here, storage. You can do, we have just the base on the storage right here. You can upgrade, but you can see also the prices for it too, and it tells you how much you can upgrade, like storage 2. 6,613 pounds and 0.9 pounds cost you 15,000, but then you can carry 6,600 more pounds. Stage 3 is going to cost you $25,000, but you'll be able to hold 11,000 more pounds, and so on. Engine, you can upgrade the engine. I have the standard engine in here. You can see the prices and how much horsepower it adds. I'm not going to add any more engines into this thing because I don't think it's worth it. But again, you play your game how you want to. You may think it is worth it, and that's, you know, that's perfectly fine. Now, that doesn't mean that other boats that I won't upgrade the engine on, because maybe if I like the boat, I want to upgrade the engine in it. This boat, I just don't feel it's necessary. You can upgrade your radar. I have upgraded the radar to radar 3. It lets you find point of interest easier. Autopilot. Autopilot is a real cool tool to have on your boat. If you buy it, it's $3,000 for the starter boat. Not sure if it's different for any other boat. But we do have it equipped, and we will be showing you autopilot, how to work it, and how awesome it really is. And it will be such a big help when you're out there, especially doing lobster fishing and you're setting pots like this on the starter boat. You'll be the best $3,000 you spent on this starter boat. Guarantee, hands down. Fish sonar. You can upgrade your fish sonar. I just passed up these other two here and just went for the big boy, 1,000 meters. It shows you, you know, all the fish up to, you know, over 1,000 meters are, you know, so, or 1,094 yards. I own that one. I think that one was maybe like $8,000, I think. It's just worth it to bypass these other two and just spend the $8,000 and get the best sonar for this boat. Buoys, like I said, I did the same thing because the buoys are cheaper. I just upgraded all the way to level 4, and especially I told you before in the beginning, it gets crazy dark out there at night when you're at sea and you're trying to fish and you're trying to find your buoys to pull them up out of the water. Yeah, just the regular standard buoy, you're going to have a rough time. Not that you can't find them, but it's going to be extremely difficult. So you're going to want buoy 4, because even with buoy 4s, it's still hard to find them at times because it's so dark out there. Searchlight, last one, rounding it out. You got your standard searchlight, which is garbage, but you know, it's what comes on it, right? You got to build up. I still think this searchlight level 10, I believe, costs $10,000 on the starter boat. Distance is 2,000 meters. And the intensity is 20 CD. Not sure what the CD stands for. Some of you may know. If you know, drop it down in the comments. I'd love to know. I know I can look it up myself, but, you know, let me know if you know. I still think this searchlight level 4 for the starter boat, it's better than the standard searchlight, but it's still not great. You're not going to see much with it, at least in my opinion. That's just my opinion, you know. So that's all for upgrades on the starter boat. Now you have your shipyard. You go in here and you go to available. At this port right here, Dennis Point, there's only the Legend and the full throttle that's available. You can see the prices on them, like the full throttle. Basically $1 million. This is a harpoon boat. Like I said, full throttle is the biggest harpoon boat in fishing North Atlantic. It can also be rigged for deep line fishing. So this boat can do 2 types of fishing. And it gives you all the stats on the boat if you read it. I'm not going to read all those. But you do also have, if you go down to about the middle section, it does say max additional crew is 4. You can have yourself plus an additional 4 crew members on board. I don't have any crew member because you can't fit any on the starting boat. But I do know from watching other videos and that the crew members are going to be a great help, and they do cost a lot of money. There's like 2 costs associated with crew members that I've seen. You'll have your initial hire price to hire them, which is thousands of dollars to hire them, and then actually there's 3 costs associated with your crew. I take that back. Like the first one, you're going to have the additional fee to hire, just to hire them. You'll have your percentage of the payout for when you go into port and sell your catch, they're going to get a certain percentage of that haul. And the third associated cost with the crew is you're going to have to pay to level them up. There's a level system on how well they do certain things. You'll have to pay to level them up as they go. That is very, very expensive also, I've seen. So that's the only 2 boats that are available here at this port. You go to different ports, you could have 10 or 15 boats or whatever available at that one port. This port just only has the 2 right now. You can go around. The one reason why you would want a better sonar is because there are ships or boats scattered throughout the map that you find and you unlock at different ports. Not all ports have the same boats. You have to go to different ports to find different boats. There's a lot to go over in this game. This is a little playthrough, showing you how to do Lobster, and also showing you some, details about the game. Lobster. This boat is only rigged for lobster. Our boat only does lobster, like I've said before. If your boat does other types of fishing, like long line or net fishing, something like that, there's other types too. It'll be in here, and if you bought the rigging, because you have to buy the different riggings for your boat, you can equip it onto your boat if your boat allows that kind of fishing. Hopefully you guys understand that. And we went over all that stuff there. Town is, what it is. Services, rescue service. From what I've seen, it costs you $8,000 at least for the starter boat to be rescued. Like I said before, I've went through that. Cost me a lot of money. $8,000, and I mean just meaning $8,000. I totaled the boat, so I didn't have a boat anymore. I had to pay the $8,000 fee for the rescue, and also I just upgraded my whole boat. So I dropped, well, not completely upgraded it, but I dropped about $100,000 into this starter boat. So I was out about that 100 grand plus 8 grand for the rescue, and I started again. And it's not like I start again with all the upgrades that I just put into it. No, you start fresh again, stock boat. So I was out about $108,000, just like that. So watch what you're doing. You're getting close to land. Just watch what you're doing, because you'll damage your boat and you can total it, and then you start with a stock boat all over again. So just be careful. Then this is your crew tab. You can go on here for hire. You can go in here and hire all these people. The rates, it'll show you here. And all these here are all the areas where you can upgrade your crew member. Pot hauling, cooking, repair, hand gutting, machine gutting, freezing, stacking, and so on, right? Well, you can upgrade all those, and it costs a lot of money. And you'll see the higher cost, like Graham Oakley here. Higher cost $43,500 just to hire him. That's not just a one-time. That's a one-time cost to hire him, but still you have to pay him the 2.3% rate every time you go into port and sell your catch. Okay? And also you have to pay to upgrade his skills, like I'm saying. Or you go down here to Pearl Myerland, possibly, if that's how you say your last name. Hire cost $27,000. Her rate is a lot lower at 1.4%. So you see what I'm saying? Like, I mean, very, very expensive. Very expensive. I mean, it costs a lot of money. Now, there'll be ones that, if you have any crew that you have employed, you'll show the ones that are on board your boat. This boat doesn't allow any, like I said, in your crew house. If they're not on board, you have a crew house for them, and they're inside the crew house. You can go here to train your crew if you have crew. Like I said, that costs money too. Fish market, you can go in here to the shop. You can buy hooks, different hooks. They allow you to do that thing better, like wooden knife, plastic knife, rubber knife, and so forth. You see the prices? It allows you to get your fish better. Binoculars, I just have the regular base ones that they give you to start out. They're called old. They have 2x zoom. You got plastic, steel, military grade, leather binocular. Look, prices for binoculars, expensive, right? So you can get that stuff. It allows you to do your job better. Fish prices, come in here, you can see all the fish prices right at Dennis Point. Or I showed you how to do it if you bring up your map and you're out at sea, you can see what everything is paying. Here at this port, you can bring it up all at one time and see all the fish types in the game. You can see what each are paying for at this current time of the year. Because yes, the time of year matters. The prices will be lower at certain times, other times they'll be higher, and so forth. You know, reverse, you know, that, you know, you understand what I'm saying. Fishing gear. This is where we're going to go in since we're in here, and you can buy small pots for your lobster. Okay, either your wooden pots or your steel pots. I believe when you start the game they have 3 wooden pots on board for you that they give you. I'd get rid of those pretty quickly because the wooden pots are garbage. They're pure garbage. They don't catch much. They're, after you start playing a while and you do some lobster fishing with the wood pots and then you switch over to the steel, you'll understand what I'm saying. But the wood pots cost $500 a piece, and the steel lobster pots, these are the ones that you want to use and get as quickly as you can. I have 12 steel lobster pots. That's as much as a starter boat can hold, is 12. Same thing for wooden pots, it's still 12. But these are $1,000 a piece. Each pot is $1,000 a piece. So I had 12 on board. That cost me $12,000 for lobster pots on this boat. Each boat, if the boat can do lobster and it holds more lobster pots, which other lobster boats in this game will hold more lobster pots, it's going to cost you more money than that, obviously. And then you can go in here and you can sell pots. I don't want to sell any. You'll only get half your money back. But why sell them when you need them, right? But if you absolutely needed to, you could. That option is there. But you only get 50%. And then here, we got to go in here and we got to buy bait. I have, right now, this boat holds 5 lobster bait blocks. I only have 2. I'm getting low on bait. Usually I like to come in and stock up my freezer full of frozen bait. So we're going to go in here and we're going to buy 3 more blocks. So we're all ready for when we go back out at sea. Okay, so it charges you, that's $300 right there down the drain for bait. So we're stocked up on bait. We're good. We stocked up on fuel. Our fuel tank is full. And that's it, guys. That's really it. You can go in here to general and go to weather, and it will show you the weather, the updated weather for today, right now, precipitation, wind, cloud cover, visibility, and it will show you over the next week down at the very bottom what it's going to be, the temperature, and you know, whether it's going to be sunny, rainy, snowy, whatever. So there's that. And you can go here and skip time if you want to at port. You can skip 24 hours at a time or go down to skip 1 week. Like, skip 1 week would be good if you want to do it over and over again. You can skip through months and months if you want to. In port, if you want to start at a certain time of the year or a certain time when a fishing season starts, that's where that would come in and be very helpful. And then here's your map. You can go here and just see your map from here. So that's it, guys. And then you can go up here to port info about Dennis Point. Each port has port info. You go here and it tells you about Dennis Point. And you can read it. I'm not going to read it, but you can read it. You can pause it. Read it yourself. Or if you get the game, read it yourself. But I'm not going to read it to you. I'm nice, but I'm not that nice. I don't feel like reading right now. So that's a little bit of fishing there. I showed you guys a little bit if you're new to the game. Hopefully this helped out. And that's all we're going to do for this very first video. Next time we're going to hit it out there in the ocean and we're going to get some more lobster, and hopefully I can show you guys a good haul this time to where we have 16, 17,000 pounds, or we fill up this whole boat full of lobster, and then we got to go into port, and you can see how much money we make. Hopefully the prices don't get much lower than what they are now, but they could go down more by then. I'm hoping not, because lobster's really low right now. But if we go out there and we fill up the boat, it usually takes about 2.5 to 3 in-game days to fill up this boat here for me, for about, you know, the 17.5 in pounds you can put into this starter boat. So yeah, guys, hopefully you guys like this and it helped you guys out. If you guys like this video, please leave me a like. If you like my content, like my channel, consider subscribing to me. And until next time.